My name is Mary Lawlor. I'm the UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights Defenders. I have been in this mandate since 2020 and I'm due to finish at the end of April. For human rights defenders, I think it's really important that you give them as much visibility and as much credibility as you can. I adopted a people-centred approach at the beginning of the mandate, and I think that's really what has been the best approach for the individual defenders. But it's really never my win, it's a collective effort. Every one of us have our part to play in this endeavour. I think my added value is being able to speak to states more easily, and also knowing that human rights defenders understand that the mandate stands in solidarity with them. It's really important to make sure that human rights defenders understand the limit of what special rapporteurs can do. I can't go to any country I want. You have to be invited. I can't assess in practical and physical terms what's happening to human rights defenders on the ground if I can't get into that country. And the bureaucracy in Geneva has to be seen to be believed in the UN. I deal with people who are in danger all the time. And you can't afford to spend weeks and weeks going through the system in order to assist them. That system is a disadvantage. And when you couple that with the global lack of political will and the current political context, it means, as we all know, that it is very difficult to promote and protect human rights defenders. Obviously, I would love if my priorities were continued, to continue work on long-term detention and to continue work on killings, because when it comes to long-term detention, I've been tracking 96 cases, and all these 96, they've been in prison between 10 years and life. And it's such a cruel violation of human rights because people fade from the sight. They fade from the mind once they fade from the sight. Killings, of course, are increasing, and I think unless we get more accountability for perpetrators to be brought to justice, these killings will keep on snowballing. The current challenge, of course, is environmental and climate defenders. They have always been a challenge, but it's even more so now. We need to protect children and young people who are human rights defenders because they're the future. And then, it's a very easy way to use to say a human rights defender is a threat to the state or is a terrorist or some sort of security-related threat. And that is something that you always have to be aware of in this current environment. Even the term human rights defender itself has been questioned more and more. If we're able to hold the line, that'll be a success in itself with the rise of the anti-rights movement and the anti-gender movement and all the gongos that we have nowadays. So I think outreach and training is very important and should be continued in order to broaden on an ever-growing scale the knowledge of human rights defenders about special procedures. I do think the independence of special procedures should be maintained. Special procedures is the only independent part of the UN when it comes to human rights, and it really should be fought over. And now there's suggestions that there'll be less reporting in New York at the General Assembly. That would be something we'd be worried about, because if human rights are sacrificed in New York, they'll just gradually be totally disintegrated. The main point I want to make is perseverance. I tend to take a view that nothing is ever hopeless, that somehow the world muddles through. There are more people working in human rights now than ever before. But I would like to end with a quote from Mohammed Al-Rochan from the United Arab Emirates, who is serving a life sentence. I am an optimist at heart. I imagine the future is built on the idea of human rights and its culture. He who feels he does not live in a free society that makes him feel equal will feel that his humanity is incomplete. There is a saying that between the river and the rock, the river always wins, not because of its strength, but because of its persistence. And those working for human rights are not strong, but they persevere.